So, what do you do? Imagine this. A kid is sitting in a high school classroom, and halfway through their science class, a teacher or the vice principal or somebody walks in and pulls a student out of class and brings them down the hallway and into either the principal's office or an office where a police officer is sitting. And the officer or the principal starts to question them on an alleged sexual assault that happened with another student, either on or off campus. This happens, and unfortunately, the school or law enforcement are not required to notify parents that they're going to start trying to interview their child, which is under 18 and a student. And that shocks a lot of parents. So I want to talk about that for a minute because I'm seeing that happen quite a bit lately. Here's the situation. A child does not have to answer questions to law enforcement or to school administrators involving any of these sorts of allegations. As a parent, you won't know that your kid's being interviewed usually until after it's being done. So what you need to do, or what you might want to think about doing, is talking to your kid and telling them that, God forbid, if this situation ever arises, that they should say, I'm not going to answer any questions without my parents and without a lawyer, whether or not your kid has done anything wrong. The reality is this, and here's why. There are cases, certainly we're in an age where we recognize more that some sexual assaults have happened and have been unreported in the past. Yes, that has certainly happened. However, having done this side of the job for over 15 years, I've seen many cases where there have been false allegations as well, and what those allegations can do to a kid that's going through false allegations, and do to their family, and do to their future if the case isn't handled the right way. So what ought to happen is that a kid should be trained, in my opinion, by their parents to say, I don't want to answer any questions unless my parents are involved, and until they can get a lawyer, and just refuse questioning until then. Again, if you haven't done anything, you have an option later with the advice of a lawyer to determine whether or not your child wants to make a statement with the lawyer present to school administrators and or to law enforcement. Of course, if something has gone wrong as well, that determination also needs guidance from a lawyer about whether you answer questions in a criminal investigation or not, because a lot of these times there's two things going on. One is a school investigation, and the school's trying to determine, should we suspend a kid? Should we expel them? Are they a threat? What happened or didn't happen here? At the same time, though, there's often opening up a criminal investigation that the child isn't aware of. They think that they or their parents think that we're just answering to the school, and really this information can be getting gathered for law enforcement or by law enforcement at the same time, which can lead to very serious criminal charges. I've had a number of these cases go on in investigation, and I can tell you that there have been a number of them also where through handling it right in the investigation, law enforcement has come to us and said, this case is not going to be charged out. Either flat out, we were able to unearth evidence that proved that it was a false allegation, and law enforcement has actually apologized to me and clients on a couple of occasions and said, thanks for bringing this side of it to us. We didn't know. They looked through phone records, subpoenas, or a number of other pieces of evidence, and they found out that allegations were flat out false. Other times it takes DNA testing and the like. Each situation is unique. So again, I'm not one of those people that says every criminal sexual assault allegation is false or is a lie. Of course not. There are situations where unfortunately it does happen. But the damage can be done when allegations are either completely false or overstated. And your child doesn't know their rights. The parents don't even know the rights for the child. And again, parents aren't told about it until it's after. So it's important to consult with a lawyer before your child goes in and starts making statements that may or may not be to their benefit. They're dealing with trained law enforcement, trained professionals at the schools on how to handle this. And these kids aren't trained, and sometimes an investigation can go the wrong way, not because a kid would be misleading them or not, but just because they're not aware of what their rights are and not, and there's too much at stake to have that happen. If you have any questions, my name is Attorney Ryan Pacyga. I do handle sexual assault allegations both in school settings and, of course, in criminal settings from state to state across the nation. I'm based here in Minnesota. If you like what I'm doing, you can subscribe to my channel. Also, I think this is a video in particular that perhaps the word should be spread just so kids and their parents know what their rights are, and you need to know ahead of time before it's too late. You can find me at ArrestedMN or ArrestedMinnesota.com or call me at 612-339-5844.